better today?
A little bit.
Good.
Sir, can I help you with something? Sir? Sir? Sir! I need you to check in before you enter the hospital. Who are you here to see?
Who am I here to see?
Yes?
You.
I believe it's important to be prepared for an active shooter event, to drill for any type of an event, and folks need to know how to react. Folks need to know what steps to take to protect themselves, to protect clients, to protect folks that are involved in any type of a situation.
That's key with this training video, to embed that with our security officers, with employees and management, to have that survival mindset in every given situation.
To have a plan in place just increases the odds of surviving an incident. To not have a plan in place is just asking for just a disaster.
Active shooter events causing death or serious bodily injury to staff and others are becoming more common. Law enforcement professionals recognize that having an active shooter policy is critical for any organization to save lives.
Typically what we will do in an active shooter situation is the first people that respond, whether they're uniformed or ununiformed, are going to take an active role in eliminating the threat or stopping the threat from happening so that nobody else is injured. By being prepared, it gives your mind a reference point.
Well, it's just like anything else, they have to train. Panic comes from the unknown and the sense of losing control. The more they train, the more they prepare for an event like this, the less likelihood that they're going to panic in a situation like that. The chances aren't zero, so it's imperative that every organization like this prepare in the eventuality of an active shooter happening at their location.
And hospitals are considered what we call soft targets. They're open 24 hours a day. Compared to the size of the facility, they have minimal security, multiple hallways, multiple entry points, so it's very difficult to police that entire area. And you also have a large number of employees, and so you just don't know if you're going to be the one that happens. I mean, nobody thinks it's ever going to be their facility that gets hit.
In advance, consider escape routes, and if those aren't available, they would need to consider where they can hide, someplace that can conceal them, protect them from gunfire, and in last resort, if they have to, how they can fight back if need be. I think responding to an active shooter situation is as much mental as it is physical, and why it's very important to mentally prepare in the eventuality of something like this happening. We pray that it never does, but if you're ready, you're going to respond in a positive manner and save your life, maybe some other lives as well.
Violence is becoming more common in healthcare facilities. Healthcare security professionals know that the potential for an active shooter event is now greater than ever. Because of this risk, a responsive protocol is required to mitigate the recognized risk. During active shooter situations, the natural human reaction is to be startled, feel fear and anxiety, and even experience initial disbelief. The intent of this training video is to provide the knowledge to remain composed and confident, to commit to action. Committing to action is the key. In the model to follow, we'll explore 3 basic options for staff. Run, hide, fight.
Oh my gosh! Are those gunshots? Come on, we need to get out of here. My bag. Just leave it, come on!
All right, everyone, let's move. Come on.
I'm not going out there!
not safe. We gotta get out of the building.
Friends here. Wait, stop. Stop. Wait.
What is taking so long?
Shh! She's making sure it's safe.
Okay, let's go. No, that way.
Right that way. This way. Hands up this way. Down. Put your hands behind your back.
I'm at a medical center. There's a shooter inside the building. No, I didn't see him. I just heard the shots and people screaming.
Hey, I think he's trying to go inside.
Stop him! Hey, stop! Stop! You can't go in there. Someone's gonna have a gun and they're shooting.
What are you talking about?
We need to get further away from the building where it's safe.
Well, it's important that they're running to some place of safety, not just running arbitrarily in any direction. That's why that pre-planning is so important. They need to run to a secure place outside of the area as quickly as possible.
Our officers are going to be focused on one task, and that's making sure the threat has stopped or that they will stop the threat. And so they'll do that by going directly to wherever that threat is. What we need from hospital staff is to keep their hands visible so we know that they're not a threat, and to not ask us a ton of questions. Don't expect us to be stopping to help people with first aid issues, because what we're trying to do is stop people from continuing to get injured.
If they're not following directions, the officers in many cases aren't going to have the time to discern between the actual threat and maybe someone who's not following directions. So we're going to have to treat everyone as if they are a potential threat, meaning that we're probably going to have to take them in custody or at least secure them in a manner that they're no longer a distraction of the officers in their job.
And then once you get to that rally point, it's also important that people stay at that rally point. Do not leave. That's considered a safe area, and we need to account for everybody in that hospital at the end of it.
As a first priority, you should attempt to evacuate or run from the location of an active shooting if it is safe to do so. The first course of action is to move far away from the building to a safe location. Leave personal belongings behind. Know your escape routes. As you're exiting, visualize possible escape routes and ensure your path is safe. Avoid escalators and elevators. Take others with you if possible, but don't stay behind because others will not go. When it is safe to do so, call 911. Upon running and escaping, prevent others from entering an area where the shooter may be. Be seriously vocal. Explicitly follow the instructions of any first responding law enforcement, or you could be considered a threat until proven otherwise.
What was that?
I don't know.
Get out of the building now! Help me with this. Get over there. Silence your phones. Get the lights. There's a man shoot. I just saw him shoot a man in the hallway on the north side near the ICU. He's at the door.
So if at all possible, barricade yourself. And that does not mean just locking the door. Push things in front of the door, chairs, tables, whatever you can to further solidify that door from being kicked in or somebody entering. If there's a window in the door, go to an area where they can't look in the window and see that there's somebody else, somebody in there. call 911, let us know where you're at so that we know that there's somebody in there.
We're going to want to know how many people there are, what type of weapons they have, and in what part of the facility they're located, so when we respond, we'll know exactly what we're facing.
Typically, an active shooter is not going to spend time looking for people. They're going to be looking for what we would consider easy targets, targets that are out in the open. We would encourage people to hide, stay quiet, turn the lights off, don't make themselves known unless it is to law enforcement.
If running is not a safe option, hide in place as quickly as possible. Once you have secured yourself, there are several key things to know. Lock doors if possible. Barricade the door with heavy furniture or objects. Close, lock, and cover windows if possible. Turn off the lights. Silence all electronic devices and turn off any sources of noise. Remain silent. Hide along areas that are not directly in front of windows or doors. Dial 911 if possible to alert police of the shooter's location. If you cannot speak, leave the line open and allow the dispatcher to listen. Remain hidden in place until law enforcement has arrived.
Are you okay? We gotta get up. We gotta get out of here. Can you get up?
Oh, I think so.
Okay, come on. We gotta go. I gotta move fast. It's okay. You're doing great. You're doing good. We're gonna go right over there into the bathroom. Focus. Let's go. Just like that.
Try to get outside?
Just stay quiet. We should stay put. Wait here.
No!
Hey man, come here. Get in here quick.
What's going on?
It's not safe to be out there. There's someone coming.
Oh, what are we gonna do now?
Let's move this table to the door.
Is there a way to lock the door?
Not from inside.
What?
Shh.
Oh, that was close. We're all gonna die. It's all right. We're not gonna die. We're gonna be okay.
Everyone grab something.
Grab something?
Something that can be used as a weapon. If that door opens, don't hesitate.
So that last option is fighting, and that is statistically speaking, actually a pretty good option. About 13% of the active shooter situations are taken down by unarmed citizens, and that's compared to 4% that are taken down by law enforcement. It's not a situation where you can afford to pull your punches or anything else. You've got to go all in as hard as you can, and hopefully with multiple people as well.
There's strength in numbers, and that is exactly what you need to be able to do. Arm everybody and have a plan. The gloves are off at that point, meaning that anything goes. Whatever happens to be in that room, it is a potential weapon that they have to use in order to defend themselves and or go on the offensive.
Pencils, chairs, books. It's very difficult if somebody throws something at you for you not to react to it, especially if it's thrown at your head. You should come up with a plan. Okay, if he gets in, what are we going to do? And so it might be good to go from different angles of the room so that you're kind of surrounding him when he comes in so that you can get him from every side.
If you don't do anything, then you will become a statistic. Then they stand a chance of not going home. And that's really what they need to keep in mind, is that they will go home at the end of the day if they stand and fight.
When you have determined that running or hiding are not safe options, hospital staff and employees need to know. As a last resort when confronted with the shooter, they may need to fight to survive. When faced with this situation, come up with a plan of attack. Try to disrupt or incapacitate the shooter by using extremely aggressive force and using items from the environment as offensive weapons, such as a fire extinguisher or a chair. You must commit to your actions without hesitation. You must fight for your very survival. Whenever possible, work as a team. If you must confront the shooter, there is strength in numbers. Calling in an active shooter event can become a crisis in itself, bringing the arrival of dozens of heavily armed police officers. Panic will set in, and people will be traumatized. Active shooter calls should not be made based upon third-hand rumors, loud noise, an incident that has already been resolved, or the sight of a firearm on a person who may have a concealed carry permit or is a plainclothes police officer. To ensure that false active shooter reports are not made, staff shall only report an active shooter based upon first-hand knowledge. Examples of information to establish first-hand knowledge are people yelling information of what is happening, people running and appearing panicked, observing people who have been shot, observing the shooter, hearing people screaming and crying, or hearing gunshots.
With this video, Condor is attempting to educate folks on a worst-case scenario. They have a hard enough job in a healthcare setting to do their day-to-day and help people get better. We hope that in viewing this and in drilling, preparing, that folks are able to react appropriately when the time comes.
We want the healthcare facility employees, managers, just to be safe at their workplace, to feel they're competent in any given situation, not to be paranoid, not to be afraid going to work, just to be competent that they receive this training and continue being repetitive on the training as well.
It is a split-second decision that they have an opportunity to save their own life, save someone's life, or exit the building as quickly as possible. Run, hide, or fight is the method that we use and that we believe is the best method to survival.